Hello, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. I make things from recycle things, old things. I junk journal and I slow stitch. I'm junk journaling again today. So, I have this mini art, I've called it. So it's just a little mini journal that's a concertina that I made because I'm part of a Facebook group that I really enjoy, and I want to sort of add a few bits that I've done onto one of the challenges, which is to make some mini art throughout August. So this is probably going to go further than August. It's got more in it and I'm not doing it every day. So I've just gone to some scrap boxes that I've got. I have these two tins that I take out and about, and then I've got a big basket underneath, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself, so I've just got these bits and I want to use these bits. So I did think about using these papers to sort of create a bit of a background, because I like the green. It's a bit from leftover from Junk Journal July, so yeah, I like that. I'm going to spread it all out. Let's do that. Let's put this one on first, just sort of in the middle, just to create a bit of a masterboard. What glue shall I use? I've got PVA out, but I'm going to use my matte medium gel just because it dries faster. So I hope you've all had nice days. I've had an alright day. So it's the afternoon now. I have to make sure I'm not off the edge, because I think about here's the edge. So I do apologise. I am a little bit tired today. It's been an okay day, just a bit tiring. I've got like a little bit of an idea. I've gone really quiet. It's because I'm thinking, what am I going to do after I've stuck this down? I don't know. That's the answer to that question, really. Make some art. So the art that I make is supposed to be square, and this is already not square, but that's okay because I can take two pictures. What's that? We're going all in on the medium gel. Alright, I'm going to put that to one side because I've selected a few bits and pieces out before I switch the camera on. So I quite like this frame. So this frame is made from some magazine, from magazine image from a craft magazine. Fussy cut out the centre that had a sentiment from a card. It's like a small picture of a card, cut out as well, and then put onto a book page. So that's an element that I might even fussy cut out the centre, I'm not sure, but I quite like the frame. I think it goes that way actually. Does it go that way? I like it that way, so that's the way it's going to go. So we're even going over 3 here. No, we're not. We're going to stick it within the 2. So I have that, and then I have this little, it's like a little person. I'm not sure who it is, from Cuba. It's a stamp, and it's quite sweet. I think it's a child. I'm not sure. If you know, make a comment. So I don't know now. Do I put that there? Then that's almost like a headdress. See, that fits in quite nice. There's this stamp as well that's from South Africa that I quite like, but I think might get used in another one. But I also have this. This is part of the party pack from Junk Journal July. And I think I'm going to fussy cut the flower and that sentiment out, and we're going to use that as part of our thing. We're going to do it initially like that, I think so. So it says, to live for the hope of it all. I don't normally do sentiments. Meg at Meg Journals, she kind of does do, she has like a commonplace book and sentiments and stuff. And do you know, I love the idea of a commonplace book, but then I kind of, I don't know, this has a negative connotation, I think. It must be something I've read in a book about people who collect, say, I think it's Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice. He mentions that he notes things down, and that basically what he's describing is a commonplace book. It's what does he say? He says something like he notes the trifles down, or not necessarily trifles, little sayings down to please women, basically, and flatter women. But otherwise, I quite like the idea of doing a commonplace book. We might do that. So a commonplace book is like an older notion of just somewhere where you collect phrases and quotes and things to live for, things, you know, useful quotes, basically. Got to remember that's on a fold. So I don't know quite where I'm putting all of this. That could fold over, but that can't. Where's my fold? That's my fold. Perhaps I should go underneath. Do it like that. Oh my word, for such a small thing, it's quite unwieldy. So I've got our little man here that I definitely want. Definitely want the little man in. I might give him a bit of a gilded frame around the outside of that. Do we want the words, or do we just want the flower? Because the flowers... We could do that. Ah, there we go. And then we're sort of setting ourselves up for the next day, and I won't stick that down completely. So if I put him up like that, like that. Okay. Let's do some work on these frames. So I think I do want this to be sort of outlined in gold, but I'm going to paint it with a little brush. So I sprayed all of this before we got started. Then I'm not fighting with a paint palette. So I watched a Tracy Fox video the other day, and it's something I rewatched from when it first came out, and she was taking ugly stamps, because we always get lots of ugly stamps. You know, when you buy a pack of stamps, there's always like some soccer ones in it if you're European, or, you know, like things that are just not pleasing to the eye, and sometimes you can bury them in the back of a collage. but it would be nice to make something out of them. And they're generally the bigger stamps, and they've got, you know, a nice deckled edge or whatever. So I've managed to smush that, but I'm not angry at that either. Okay, I think we're going to go around this edge in gold too. It's not going to be a very long one, I don't think, today. But then I might make another quick one because I've had an idea and I want to see what people think about my idea. I'm not going to tell you what it is now. I'm just going to paint around the outside of this in gold. I'm going to have to get that heat gun out. You can definitely, I've done a lot more talking today. I've had more appointments, and I can tell, like yesterday I think I was a bit more chatty. That's something to ponder upon. Whereas today I'm not as chatty because I've spent not all day talking, because I do a lot of listening, but it's definitely been a different day. Right, that's going to go everywhere, so have some of them. I'm going to do a video about how I do these types of things, because it is actually part of my very first sort of part of junk journaling. In fact, that's probably a 4-year-old, well, it's a much older piece of paper behind it, but the actual sort of concept of it, I probably did this about 4 years ago, like with my original lot. So it was lockdown, and we kind of was heavily locked down in England. And then they furloughed me, so I had nothing to do, so that's when I started to junk journal. I did other stuff. I did lots of slow stitching projects. I actually got, because you could only go out like once a day, and there was this scrap store. I was living in Cambridge at the time. I think they closed that scrap store down, but they wanted to sort of supply people with things, so they started leaving things outside, and one day they left lots of sample books, fabric sample books, and so I went, I could have got more, but I went and I chose 8 sample books from this stash, and do you know, I'm still using them now. Those strawberries I made the other day, there was like a scrap of red fabric, that's from that, and I've still got lots. I've made all kinds of things with it. I'm just thinking about where can I find some more. On the road I live on, there's a big interior design place towards the end, so I might email them. I might just start email. There's a Laura Ashley in town as well. I might email them and say, do you have any sample books? Worth a try, isn't it? There we go. Kinda. I didn't put that in under there. Have I got time? I do have time. Am I just forcing it? I think I'm just forcing it. Okay, so we've got that. Let's have a look. What else have we got? playing around now. I've got a flutterby. Go. I think. I don't know what kind of bird this is. My husband's South African. So if you're watching and you're from South Africa, how's it? He's a real mixed bag actually, my husband. He's got like lots of I think people who move, you know, end up going to like live in different countries. I think eventually, you know, a few generations down, you do have lots and lots of different things in it. You know, like different types of people from different countries. I think that's what I'm saying. Not articulating that very well. Whereas like me, I have a very rare maiden name that I'm not going to tell you, but it's like a very rare English maiden name, and it's very, it's not like a wealthy name, it's a very working class name, but it's quite rare, and that's like our lineage is very, very, very like English. I come from an old town. It's really interesting. So our Lil is a proper mixed bag. It's wonderful. I love it. Life would be boring, wouldn't it? In fact, out of all 4 children, there's only my brother who actually emigrated, who married an English person. Or not, well no, my sister-in-law is English. There's one of my sister-in-laws is English, but she lived in Africa for a long time, in the Ivory Coast. Speaks French and all that. Then another sister-in-law's from Austria. So yeah, we're a bunch that's from everywhere. I do like that there, but I think it needs gilding because everything else is. It's knowing what to say and what not to say, like online, because obviously you have like an outside life, and I don't know. This is the tricky bit. Because I like the crafty bits, and I like connecting with people about craft, and connecting personally too, but you know. Push that a bit further in. What do I think? It's a nice little after work craft. Now I want to, just realise I've got gold paint on the envelope, but that doesn't matter. I'll just do some lines. I do love gold paint. I'm like a magpie. A bit of that water. Liking the shiny things. I was booking appointments in today for September, and I was just like, I can't believe like the year. It's evaporating before us, so I'm going to be getting my Christmas on soon. Because if you make things, you do have to sort of... So I'm going to do a series on making gifts that'll all blend into something bigger. I'll talk about that. I will do a separate video about it, just a quick what do we think video. Oh, I like that. Probably get covered up that bit when we move on pages, but okay. I don't think there's anything else I can do on that without spoiling it. It's a simple one and a quick one, but there we go. Making sure it's underneath. So, an entry in my mini art journal. I just thought it would be really good to do when you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of energy, you don't want to make or process stash build, because that's what I generally do when I don't have a lot of mojo. But you want to make something pretty and just make it small. Use your little scraps to make something. It's not balanced. I normally like things in threes, so I think that's probably in a 3. Well, I guess that's a 3, isn't it? Yeah, it'll do. Thank you very much. You've been amazing. If you found value here, please do the things that help my little channel grow. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Which you are doing if you've already subscribed. Because things are growing. So thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow. Or maybe a bit later. I might do 2. Or I might save that tomorrow and think it through. I think I'll save it for tomorrow and think it through. But I will see you again soon. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.